I'll keep the title suspense but take the reveal in an emotional, family-centered direction rather than a romantic or inappropriate one. Writing, variant equals, document, ID equals 62381, I fixed my GF's mom's car. Then she pulled me inside, I can't pretend anymore. I froze, ***, I had grease all over my hands, the engine had finally come back to life, and I was just about to close the hood when my girlfriend's mother looked me straight in the eyes with tears already forming. Her voice shook as she quietly said, I can't pretend anymore. Before I could even ask what she meant, she gently grabbed my wrist and led me inside the house. My heart pounded so hard I could barely hear my own thoughts. In that moment, I honestly believed my entire future was about to fall apart. Before we continue, if you believe kindness can change lives and that everyone deserves a second chance, please take a moment to like this video, leave a comment, share it with someone who believes in hope, and subscribe to _Dad's Second Chance _. Your support helps us bring more heartfelt stories every week. ***, my name is Ethan, and I never imagined that fixing an old sedan on a quiet Saturday morning would become the turning point of my life. I wasn't wealthy. I worked long hours at a neighborhood repair shop, rented a tiny apartment, and spent most evenings trying to save enough money to someday open a garage of my own. Life wasn't glamorous, but it was honest. Every dollar I earned came from scraped knuckles, late nights, and refusing to quit even when things felt impossible. My girlfriend, Lily, came from a very different world. Her family lived comfortably, and while they never looked down on me, I always felt like I had to prove I was worthy. Her father had passed away years earlier, leaving behind memories that were still deeply respected inside the house. Her mother, Karen, carried herself with incredible strength, but I often noticed the quiet sadness behind her smile. She rarely asked anyone for help, and when she did, it was only because she had exhausted every other option. That Saturday, Lily was away attending a work seminar in another city. Karen called me because her aging car refused to start, and she needed it to get to work the following Monday. I could have suggested a tow truck or told her to bring it to the shop later, but something inside me said to help immediately. I drove over with my toolbox, expecting a simple repair. Instead, I found years of neglected maintenance hiding beneath the hood. Rusted connections, cracked hoses, and a battery barely holding on. It took nearly 5 hours under the hot sun, but eventually the engine roared back to life. Karen stood there watching quietly the entire time. Every now and then she offered me water or asked if I needed a break, but mostly she simply observed. Looking back, I realized she wasn't watching me repair a car. She was watching the kind of man her daughter had chosen. When the engine finally started, relief washed over both of us. I smiled, wiped my hands with an old rag, and said everything should be reliable now. That was when her expression changed. The smile disappeared. Tears replaced it. Then came those unforgettable words. I can't pretend anymore. Inside the living room, she sat across from me while I nervously wondered if Lily had decided to end our relationship or if I'd somehow done something terribly wrong without realizing it. Karen took a deep breath before revealing a truth she had hidden for years. She confessed that she had been pretending everything was fine ever since her husband died. She smiled for her daughter, kept paying bills, attended family gatherings, celebrated birthdays, and encouraged everyone around her while quietly falling apart inside. Every night after everyone went home, the silence reminded her that she was carrying the entire family alone. She admitted that watching me spend hours repairing a car without asking for anything in return had broken the walls she had built around herself. She said it wasn't really about the car. It was about seeing someone choose kindness even when nobody was watching. She had spent years believing dependable people no longer existed. Then she met one. I didn't know what to say. Nobody had ever described me that way. I was just doing what felt right. I told her anyone would have done the same. She smiled sadly and shook her head. No, she said quietly. Many people would have found an excuse. For the next hour, she shared stories she had never even told Lily. The endless paperwork after losing her husband. The financial worries she had so her daughter could finish college without guilt. The lonely dinners. The birthdays she celebrated with a smile before crying herself to sleep. I listened. Not because I had the perfect advice. Because sometimes the greatest gift isn't having answers. It's simply staying. That conversation changed something inside me. Until then, I believed strength meant solving every problem with my own hands. Karen taught me that real strength often begins the moment someone finally admits they're hurting. When Lily returned home the next evening, her mother surprised both of us by telling her everything she had kept hidden for years. It was one of the hardest conversations their family had ever experienced. There were tears, apologies, long silences, and hugs that seemed to erase years of invisible distance. For the first time since her father's passing, they truly grieved together instead of separately. The following months weren't magically easy. Karen began seeing a grief counselor. Lily stopped blaming herself for not noticing her mother's pain sooner. I found myself spending more weekends helping around the house, not because anyone expected me to, but because family isn't built through grand speeches. It's built through ordinary moments repeated with love. I repaired leaking faucets. I painted old fences. I changed burned-out light bulbs. We shared simple dinners that slowly replaced lonely evenings. One afternoon, Karen handed me an old toolbox that had belonged to her late husband. She said he always believed tools should be passed to people who fixed more than machines. I couldn't hold back my tears. That rusty toolbox became the most valuable thing I had ever owned. Years later, when Lily and I became engaged, Karen hugged me and whispered that the day I repaired her broken car was actually the day I helped repair something much more important. Her faith in people. Looking back now, I realized the engine wasn't the only thing refusing to start that morning. An entire family had been stuck in grief for years, each person pretending to be okay for the sake of everyone else. It took something as ordinary as a broken car to finally bring hidden pain into the open. Life has taught me that people rarely ask for help when they need it most. Sometimes they don't need someone to rescue them. They simply need someone who shows up, stays patient, and reminds them they don't have to carry every burden alone. If you're watching this today, maybe someone in your own life has been pretending everything is fine. A parent. A friend. A neighbor. A coworker. Take a moment to check on them. Your kindness might become the turning point they never knew they needed. If this story touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to _Dad's Second Chance _. Your support allows these stories of hope, healing, and second chances to reach more people who may need them today. ***, special request *** before you leave, comment below. Kindness still changes lives. We'd love to know where you're watching from, and your words may encourage someone reading the comments who needs hope today. Sometimes the biggest miracles don't begin with dramatic moments. Sometimes they begin with a broken car, an open heart, and one person choosing to care when it would have been easier to walk away. And in a world where so many people are silently pretending they're okay, that simple act of kindness can become the greatest second chance of all.